let's do this.
All right.
Start it off?
Yeah, I'll start it. So let's just start with the beginning. So how did you feel when you were cast?
Oh, pretty ecstatic. As I said in my interview with Dallas, I'm a really big fan. Well, not only of the Bible, but specifically Judas in the Bible as a character. I've always felt a little personal attachment to him, just because he was usually kind of quickly overlooked as just the betrayer, kind of like cut and dry to the point. It's like, oh no, this is just him. This is all he is, and that's it. And everyone was kind of acceptant of that very base idea of who he was. And I was always much more curious of like why he did the things that he did and who he was past the betrayal, because they don't really go into him at all other than his just more bad points. And I'm like, okay, if he was really that bad of a guy, I don't think they would have been hanging out with him for a solid 4 years.
And that's like whenever we were watching and when everybody started getting called, we're like, man, Judas is coming, and I just know we're gonna like him. It's not gonna be very obvious. It's gonna be someone who fits in, and so it was really cool to get to see that and just know like right off that, okay, this is gonna be a character that I know I'm gonna like throughout the show, even though knowing what's gonna happen in the end. So
yeah, no, especially with. Remember when I first got cast, I was like, okay, it's a Jesus show. I'm just happy that it's a character that I really enjoy, just kind of getting through. And then I like found and I got inside and I got to read further into the script. Like the first sides, I could already tell. I was like, okay, this isn't your average Jesus show. They're not just putting me in there to say a few lines, stab him back and run. It was very, very like nice to see so much effort and genuine like imagination put into the depiction of this character that is necessary, because there's not a lot of fact to him left. He's been kind of wiped out of history. So it was so refreshing to like go on and see like, oh no, he isn't just the mustache twirling villain that everybody just kind of expects him to be, and to play with that idea of like, oh no, he's a nice guy. And the moment they even gave me a hint of that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take an entire mile, thank you very much. I want to make him literally the most likable guy. I want to make him so likable that every time he comes on screen, people are genuinely upset that the fact that they have to like this guy that they know they're gonna end up hating by the end.
That's so awesome. So have you always wanted to be an actor? Like how did that kind of come about? And
yes. Technically is short term, yes. I remember there was a small sliver of time when I think I was maybe 2 or 3 where I wanted to be a fireman. That didn't last long, because when I turned 5, I was taking a trip to Egypt with my family, and in an apartment building that belonged to a family member, I think they had a VHS recording of first A Baby Lost in New York, which did not catch my eye. But then secondly, like right off that recording was Jim Carrey's The Mask, which I watched that immediately, grew absolutely obsessed. And from that point on, when I was 5 years old, I was like, oh no, this is what I want to do. To a bit of a disheartening response from my parents of, are you sure? And luckily, I think I gained my parents' stubbornness, so here I am. It's somehow worked out pretty well so far.
So what was the first role you ever played as an actor?
I have a question for you then. First role ever, or first role that I technically got paid for?
Ooh, let's do ever.
Ever. Geez. This is gonna be a good one. First role ever that I can actually genuinely put to memory was in elementary school. Our class did a not full, I mean, of course, I don't know if people would stand like an entire hour and 30 minutes of this, but we did like a rendition of The Lion King, and I played a hyena. I got a gray onesie, we markered some spots in the back, and I was so into it I would remind the other kids their lines because they would sometimes forget it. And my mom still has a recording of it, which I hope never sees the light of day. But now that it is out in the open, I'm afraid. I'm genuinely afraid.
So on the acting thing, how does getting cast for this role change not only your personal life, but I guess, you know, the rest of your life as far as acting goes?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. It's still a bit early to say. So, I mean, it's nice. We'll see depending on when season 3 comes. It's offered this new opportunity of a steady acting gig that I can look forward to coming back to, which to any actor is like, it's a blessing. On another aspect, there's a lot of people now watching me. That's a new thing that I'm dealing with. I'm learning about, which is interesting. I've always been kind of a bit of a private person, even with social media very rampant in our recent generations and whatnot. But yeah, now there's a lot. I have a lot of followers. Well, not a lot, but like a lot more than I used to. So I've been finding the balance between that and everything. But so far it's looking vaguely positive. So I'm looking forward to the vaguely positive future.
So does working on The Chosen feel different than working on any other project?
I mean, I've only been technically on one episode. I did get to work for a certain time and I got to work with everybody, but I'd like to say no, honestly, it's very well put together. I've been on a few other productions on sets and everything, and honestly the Chosen really stacks up to all of the other things that I've worked on. Like, the people are really nice, everything's very like well put together, scheduling, production, everything's really professional, especially knowing that technically this is a crowd-funded show. Like, the ability and the things that I've seen on this production, I would have never guessed if someone hadn't told me. Like, it really came together so well, and it was so much fun to be on a set, like any given day. It was so great.
So how much do you think, how can you see, you talked about, you know, reading the Bible and seeing Judas. How much do you think, I guess growing up, can you see things that definitely helped you for this role? You know, a little bit more about, you know, reading about Judas, and was that something that you really ever aspired to, or did it just kind of come about, or?
I guess I technically can't say I aspired to read about Judas. Also, it's hard to read about Judas because there's not much to read. I guess it was just purely out of curiosity. I've always been very intrigued by definitely villain type. Literally, my second favorite character from the Bible is the devil, mostly because it's very quick, and they always put like that kind of solid like bit on him. And also, don't take this as a we're just like, oh my goodness, the second favorite character is the devil. Don't worry. Right down the list is also like Gideon, Moses, and David. Don't worry. I've got a full list, and it's not even numbered. It's more like a circle of people that I enjoy. But it was mostly just out of curiosity and just maybe a little bit of a concern. So I wouldn't particularly read the Bible to look for Judas. The Bible is the Bible. You read the Bible for like your own spirituality and to get closer to God and God's word, and to find maybe some inspiration or support during times of tribulation for yourself or for understanding. That's why you read the Bible. You don't really go to the Bible for character work. But when it always came to Judas, I guess it's just a personal curiosity and appreciation from someone who grew up loving stories, loving these intricate characters, and knowing that ever since I was a kid, I knew there was more to this guy than the one thing. So it wasn't as active as I think I would like to say, as I want to, hype up the the idea of like, oh no, he's been obsessed with Judas since a very young age. Like it was never anything like that. But I've always had like a personal curiosity for him, and now I'm luckily getting a chance to explore that with some amazing people that I get to work with.
So, kind of on the same thing, how has your personal religion affected this?
Kind of like peanut butter and jelly. It's been very like kind of works hand in hand. Like I said, I feel like I cheated a bit. Like growing up, I'm a Coptic Orthodox, and it's literally, it's like I went in and I knew what the story was about. Like I had all the spoilers. I knew it was coming in, so it felt like I was cheating a bit. Like I know who this guy is. I know how this goes, and especially because I'm Coptic Orthodox, we all like read the Bible. We read the Bible. We dissect it, and on top of that, my grandfather is a priest, so he like already. On top of that, I also had a much stronger education into that than most, into our already like very strict religion. So I know my Bible. Relatively, I do need to reread it recently. I do need to go for a quick reread. That's a note that I have to remind myself. But affected only mostly positive, really. It's just been like, oh, and you know this part? I was like, oh, and I know that part. And Dallas is like, shh, it's not yet, stop. That's mostly it.
So, kind of going back to the Bible, what is one of your favorite verses or just passages of scripture, accounts within the Bible, just you personally?
Dang it. Putting me real on the spot here. It's like as if you like sent me to the Globe and was like, hey, what's your favorite Shakespeare passage? I'm like, I don't know. Now I have to remember the ones that I remembered, let alone my favorite. I don't know. I'm also really dramatic, so I can never think of the really like sweet ones. I always like the ones that are so over the top, like cool and very theatrical. That's like one of my favorite moments is when like Jesus is like first arrested by the Pharisees, and they're asking him, like they go down through this huge list of all of his wrongdoings, and then they finally like they get so frustrated. He's like, are you the Son of God? And he just says, I am. And I remember reading that. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's such a cool, just like, period. Like, I am done. Thank you. Good day. Have fun on the other side. Just get out of here. It's like, that's, but no, there's a better one. Like, wait, hold on. Give me a second. No, I don't have, I know I memorized a lot of songs as a kid, but I don't think there's a specific verse or passage from the Bible that I have memorized and that I have near and dear to my heart. I definitely have a lot of moments though. And another moment is, I think a moment that I usually come back to because it always like spoke to me and I thought it was always really cool was, like I said before, Gideon in Judges. Because I love Judges so much because it's basically like a long line of like superheroes against the Philistines. So it's just like this constant reboot of like, oh no, we lost faith in God. Here are the Philistines, they're kicking our butts. Oh no, a hero shows up. This was great for like a solid like decades or so, and then we basically did the same thing over and over again. Whichever hero shows up. Hey, there's Samson, who knows? But with Gideon, he gained like amassed this huge army. Like this genuinely thousands of people, and God was like, no, hold on, I don't want you guys to think you did this on just like pure manpower. Everybody go to this lake. Gideon, whoever like laps up the water, keep them. If anybody goes down to drink the water with their hands, kick them out. He was like, okay.
I've always thought,
I think they did this. Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and then he did, and then they basically I think he did it twice. He did it one time, and God was like, still too much. And he did it again to the point where they basically cut down their forces by like 2/3. I think there was only like 900, 800 left. Was it Gideon's 900? I can't remember. But I always loved that idea of like, no, if you're going to win this, you will win it by my hands. I don't want to be a sensible force of man, but a force of God. And I was like, it's really cool.
And I always thought Judges, like out of all the books of the Bible, like Judges would probably be one of the best to make like a theatrical production or something like that, because you've got all these heroes in a line doing these amazing things, and it's really just like movie grade accounts that are found within our Bible.
Yeah, honestly, like this is genuine epic stuff, and it's such poetry on top of that. Like it's really great. I mean, when they're not calling down lineages of people, it's like, oh, and this man was the son of this man, and who's the son of this man, who's the son of this man, and this man, you'll never get this, was the son of that previous man. Congratulations. Look at our family tree. It's literally a line.
So is there a biblical character that you can see yourself in, that you can relate to?
Judas? No, I'm just kidding. That would be a bit presumptuous. No, but a little jokes aside, a little bit of Judas. But that's more personal awareness. We're never quite sure, so I can't say I technically see myself in him. More just this is probably more character work, something to maybe look forward to in the show. I've definitely found some connections that I really want to play up to definitely humanize him and to like see the parts that kind of lead up to him. But other than him, that's more recent. I think I've always been really connected to King David, not from the royalty aspect, if you couldn't tell, but definitely ever since I was a kid. As you can see in the show, I'm quite small. I'm pretty short, and especially as a kid growing up with a bunch of other kids, that became very evident at a young age that I was much smaller. And then learning about David, and it was this genuinely like written scripture-wise, he was just a short kid. He was really short, and he was a shepherd, the youngest of his brothers, so insignificant, but through sheer faith and determination and courage, he was able to amount to such great things. And he always did it with this kind of kindness in his heart. I mean, kindness to a certain extent. It was like old times where people were just like, oh, you've done me a misdeed, I must kill you now. Like kindness to a fault. But I always really appreciated him as a character, and always kind of looked up to him as a kid, because that's kind of what I want to emulate, like strong but small.
It's pretty awesome. What is one thing you hope to learn from this experience, or take away from this experience, I guess personally, or even as a career? Or
Patience. We're all waiting for that season 3, and so are we.
Absolutely.
But I'm not sure. It still feels a little bit early to tell. I think I'm more just taking in all the blessings instead of, I don't know, looking for something to learn. If I really do hope I learn something, anything, I'll take it. But honestly, I'm just very happy to have been given not only opportunity to be a part of a really well-made story, honestly, so uniquely told and so strongly told in a way that I haven't seen anyone take this story before. But not only that, to have a chance at a character that has intrigued me for a very long time. So honestly, I just feel very gifted and blessed and thankful, and I'm very hopeful, looking forward to the future with him and with this production, everything it holds.
So I know you haven't been on set just a ton, but what's been your favorite memory so far?
Ooh, my favorite memory. It is hard to say. There's a lot of. Did I answer this at one point with somewhere else? I can't remember, because I think I gave mediocre answer last time. I think someone asked me what my favorite time on set was, and I said the Sermon on the Mount, mostly because I was overwhelmed. But honestly, I think my favorite moments were just like the in-betweens, especially with the cast, when I finally got to know them, and we had these just sidebars where we'd be like outside of the trailers freezing our toes off, and we just kind of have these like sidebars of conversations. I remember, I think it was George and Abe were like swinging through the handlebars, and I was just there watching. I was like, I haven't earned that yet, but I'll get there. And we it was just a very lovely, quick camaraderie of, we are all freezing here. Might as well have some fun while doing it. And that was sweet. That was nice. So yeah, I think right now that's my favorite moment. I'm looking forward to getting more time on set so I can more properly answer that question when anyone asks.
What do your friends and family think about I guess this role in this opportunity?
They're very, very proud. Luckily, they're my family, so they don't think too much of it. They're still very aware of me, which I must appreciate. My mom very much likes to toot the Judas horn whenever she can. She now brings it up in like a very, very regularly in conversation. She's like, "Oh, so I told someone about it recently," and I was like, "Thank you, Mom." Thank you. My single PR system right here. Just my mom single-handedly spreading the word of my career. My dad's much more subtle about it. He's still very appreciative. My sisters keep me humble very much. I don't know what I'd do without that. And I think my grandma's very happy that I have work and I'm part of a Jesus show. I think she's still in denial that I'm playing Judas. She's very much like, yeah, that's good. But you were so good. I was like, did you like the characters? Like, no, but you were very good. You were very good. We don't talk about him, but you were very good, yeah, Habibi. You were so good. And so I worked my way past that. But it's all been incredibly supportive. I couldn't have asked for a better support system than my family.
That's awesome.
So, who on set have you most enjoyed working with?
Well, there's Jonathan, George, Abe. No, I'm just. I have to admit, I think the person that I enjoyed the most is definitely the person I spent the most time with, which was Josh Zagoran, who played my businessman, teacher, man, dude, master guy. My boss man, my boss businessman. We spent the most time together, and he definitely, while I was getting used to everything, usually when I come to work, I'm like, yes, work, here we go, a few quips here and there to make the director uncomfortable, and here we go, just back to the regular schedule program. But he definitely helped me get more comfortable and everything. He was like, I know, Dallas, we worked on this other thing back then. I played Simon Peter, it's good, come on, loosen up, kid. And I was like, okay, you win. He definitely helped me when I hadn't known anybody yet. Helped me get out of my shell, made me feel comfortable in the set days. He was like, here, just come on, let's hang out, let's go on a walk in the town in Utah and Texas. He was like, yeah, let's have fun. And so I really appreciated him throughout the entire time we filmed, because he definitely helped me get more out of my very introverted comfort zone and appreciate the time that I had over there instead of just treating it like a work set thing. So yeah, I love him so much. I'm really glad that I got to work with him, and he's now like one of my very close friends.
I guess for really my last question is, if you could give yourself some advice, if you could go back in time and give yourself some advice, what would you give your younger self some advice for?
Yes, I'd probably tell him to calm down. For the love of God, please, just get some like melatonin or something. Take a nap. Goodness gracious, just definitely. I think sometimes we're always so quick to have a word in edgewise or to talk, to make sure that our ideas, our feelings are made important and heard to people. But I think more important than that is, I think we should learn to listen. I would definitely tell myself, this is a lesson I learned, I guess, to some pretty early in life. I would have preferred to have learned it a little earlier, that it is much more important to listen than to be heard. Because when you listen to someone else, you can hear and understand them. And if you can truly understand someone else, you can further understand yourself in a much deeper understanding than you would through a mirror.
Absolutely.
That's good.
So I would just tell myself, hey kid, shut up. Shut up for 2 seconds and just listen to anybody, everybody. Just doesn't even have to be like correct information, but just hear them out. And then with your just genuine general knowledge, you can discern whether this is like for you or not, but just listen to everything, and you'll come out learning and knowing more than you had 2 seconds ago.
So I have one more question. What do you hope is accomplished through The Chosen?
Oh, I want to literally leave everyone into an emotional breaking point, specifically that they've never seen. I want to leave people devastated. I want them to, wait, hold on. Are we talking about Judas specifically or The Chosen in general?
Both.
Because I was going into specifically with Judas. I want to make people accidentally fall in love with him. I genuinely want to make him the best friend of every disciple. I think I told the cast this, especially when I first did. I was very happy to meet them and be nice, and they were like, "Wow, you're so nice. Are you gonna bring this character?" I was like, "Oh no, I need you to understand. I want to get to know all of you and befriend all of you to such an extent that when we get to that point, you're going to hate me. I need this to be an absolute heck of a switch. I want it for the audience too. I'm so excited, and I'm really glad that Dallas has given me this chance, because I want to make him so lovable. I want to make him like the guy you want to just like bring along for like a movie or like a Sunday ice cream movie. Like, how are you? And you're like, I'm good, Judas. Thank you for asking. He's so nice and supportive, just for that moment to happen and to leave everyone beyond devastated. I'm so excited. I'm sorry if this doesn't come off as too malicious, but oh my goodness, this is like my favorite part of the job, is just like the emotional intent. I'm very excited. Anyway, but I'm really excited for The Chosen's impact, more general, less malicious, because the way this story genuinely portrays Christ and his disciples and everything is in a much more intimate fashion. It's not this surface value level thing that's honestly just for Christians to kind of like pat themselves on the back. It's so much deeper than that. It's something that Christians can look at and find something new in. And it's also something that other people can look at and not necessarily have to like find the Christian values, but also take something beautiful out of it. Maybe learn something new, not to completely jump into Christianity, but at least maybe to appreciate it and to see something beautiful and intriguing and artistic and just masterful done with such a strong story that I don't think has been done in a very long time. And I'm so excited to see where the show goes and what kind of recognition it gets, because whatever it does, it will have earned it, because this is genuine. I'm a huge film nerd, and watching this show has been an absolute joy for me. So I'm very excited to see where it goes, how it affects people, and what its legacy becomes, because it's truly beautiful, and it turns like such masterful like spirituality and such genuine heart into something that's tangible. Like you can feel it through the characters, through the writing, and it evokes so much more than you'd ever would have expected from a faith-based project. So I'm really happy that it exists, and I'm very excited to see where it goes.
So that's all the questions we have, but is there anything else that you want to say before we leave?
Still waiting on those death threats, guys. Come on, seriously. I've been over here. It's just been positive things and kind words, and I'm like, come on, guys, really? Y'all are too nice. I don't deserve this. Like, they're coming at me with wow, I really loved your performance. I was on screen for like 2 minutes. Come on, you're too nice. Let me earn it. For ugh. But no, I mean, I'm just very very blessed to be here, to have been given this chance, and to be at this point in my life and career. It's pretty good.
All right, well, I think that's everything we have.
That's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope I was able to answer everything to a good extent.
Yes.
I haven't done a lot of interviews yet, so I hope this was beneficial and good for you guys.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely. Thank you so
course.
much. All right.
Well, all right. Well, take care. I hope you guys have a lovely day.
Yes,
too.
you
See ya.
too. Thank you.
Bye.